This is the Agfa Optima 335 electronic sensor, 35mm point and shoot camera from 1978. This little camera has a 40mm f3.5 agnata lens, and it has a 3-zone focusing system. Portraits, group shots, horizon. Actually though, you can actually focus it beyond that, and if I turn the camera over, you can see there's a proper metering scale on the other side, and it will focus to 0.9 meters, which is quite impressive. There's a little window here at the front to show the CDS meter, and if I take this filter off, you can see it's quite simple to change the ISO, or in these days ASA. And really that's about as far as it goes with controls. You can see f-stops around the top of the barrel, but they're really just used for flash guns. However, it has some interesting features. If I open, let's get rid of this first. While I'm mentioning it, the camera strap that I've just removed also doubles as the tripod mount. That does tend to mean that on some tripods you're stuck in portrait mode, but if you have a 3-way axis tripod, you can turn it over. Opening up, you'll see this little flap here comes down because there really isn't very much room in the camera. The film goes in on what most people consider to be the wrong side, and it goes in upside down. Close that up. I feed the film across, and you can see it has a number of little arrows here, and the film goes underneath this flap. This means that the film is protected while exposures are being taken. If you accidentally opened the camera back, then the film would be protected. The batteries that this camera takes, well, it takes 3 1.5 volt batteries, which go in there. Still widely available. Okay, close the battery up. Close the battery up, close the back up. On the bottom of the camera, because I don't have a tripod mount, it's quite simplistic. But you will see that there is a little wheel at the bottom which shows me that the film is being advanced properly. The shutter release is this big red button on the top. The shutter actually runs from 1/30th of a second to about 1/500th of a second, and it doesn't have a dedicated flash. And there you're good to go. Go out and take some pictures. You may have noticed though that it also doesn't have a rewind knob on this camera. So when I get to the end of the film, let's assume I'm at the end, to rewind the film, I depress this button here and twist it round, and then my wind on becomes a rewind, and if I'm not careful it rides straight back into the cassette, so I'm not going to do that. So eventually the film will go back into the cassette. It can be easily removed. While I absolutely understand why the Olympus Trip is considered to be a design classic, this one, this little Agfa, is every piece as good, and I don't understand why it doesn't get the accolades that it does. It's actually a very, very nice little camera. The only thing I haven't mentioned is it does have a cable release as well, which goes there on that side of the body. So I've got a cable release, I've got tripod mount, I've got wind on, rewind, shutter release in one button. I've got very effective zone metering. It will take a wide range of films. It's a beautiful little camera. If you get the chance, check them out. I actually really, really like this, and this one is part of my permanent collection. So the Agfa Optima 335 sensor, 1978, 35mm point and shoot camera.